Well, I'm taking the vlog over today. Park doesn't know, but we're gonna do it, huh, Indy?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do today?
Pumpkins!
Pumpkins?
Yeah.
We are gonna invite the little girly cousins, and we're gonna have them come over and paint pumpkins. Will that be fun?
Yeah.
Also, during nap time, I have to do a lot of shipping. While you sleep, I'm gonna ship, okay? Yeah, Wesley's gonna sleep too.
There's very limited voices. These guys that are doing tutorials and this kind of stuff. But this conversation that you and I are having now, can you imagine like 100 artisans doing that? And
Yeah.
you know what? I started with nothing. Can you imagine what that's going to do for the community, man? Like, wow.
Yeah, I totally agree. I want to introduce you to my vlog channel. This is Tarek, everybody. This is Tarek from Charter Made, and he's got some, he's been posting a lot of videos on YouTube, and he's going to be doing a whole lot more.
Nice meeting you all. Thanks, Parker, for the time.
Yeah. I'm trying out a different camera today. We'll see how it goes. I'm using my RX100 because I just love this thing. I rarely use it though. I mostly use my A6500 with the 10-18 lens on it. It's just like ultra power quality in a tiny little frame. And so I love that. But when it comes to point and shoots, it doesn't get any better than this camera. And I'll tell you, it helps so much to have this flip screen up here so I can actually see what I'm filming. Anyway, just mixing it up. We'll see how it goes. So I'm about to do another live. Ooh, this is the biggest challenge. My natural instinct is to look at myself up here, but I need to look here. Don't let me look up there. Yeah, big surprise. I'm still just plugging away on wallets. Nothing different. It's all the same stuff. But here's some good news. I emailed Russ at Waterbury this morning and I was like, hey, I know you guys are swamped, but is there any way we could fit in some small batches in between your other jobs? And he was like, yes, let's do it. So I just ordered a bunch of leather and had it sent over to him. So yeah, this is gonna ease my burden a little bit. I'm not gonna be like so slammed with this stuff. He's going to take a little bit more of it on his plate. I'm really looking forward to create some videos where I just come out here and I say, I'm gonna make like something random today. Whether it's a new project that I've never tried, I'm gonna work on a new technique that I've never done before, learn something new, work on a new pattern, that kind of stuff. Like those are the kind of things that always bring the views on these videos, the ones that are a little bit more introspective and reflective and more about our personal lives and business and things like that don't seem to get as many views, although I love making them. But I know you guys are here for like the leathercraft technique and how-to and tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff. So it's coming, I promise you. All right, I'm gonna paint some edges right now, get a live stream going. Let's do it. I've been asked quite a bit recently whether or not some of you should invest in a bell skiver. And just to put a little disclaimer out there, that question is almost impossible to answer without knowing what kind of work you do, how much work you're putting out, what kind of leather you're using. There's so many factors that come into play. But I have to tackle each question just assuming that you're doing work very similar to what I'm doing, using vegetable tan leather, making mostly bags and wallets, or products similar to that. Okay, so with all of that in mind, do you need to invest in a bell skiver? I've thought about this multiple times since I got mine, and the honest answer is no, not for me. There's another piece of equipment that I probably would have invested in before a bell skiver, and that's a splitter. I'm not talking about the tabletop kind that you just pull through, but I guess the one I'm thinking of would be like a Cobra Class 14 electric splitter. For being in the wallet game especially, having a splitter is really crucial. However, speaking in terms of making bags, this thing has been completely invaluable. I cannot make a bag these days without using this machine. So in order to answer that question, I would say if you're making bags, or at least similar types of bags that we make, then I would say yes, get the bell skiver. If you're primarily focusing on wallets, I would say get a splitter. Now that seems so matter-of-factly. There are so many factors that come into play whether or not you should invest in a machine. But I'm just trying to give you a little perspective from my standpoint and just my journey of buying equipment. So the project on the workbench right now is I'm doing, man, I don't know how many of these are. I've got about 30 of these interior pocket pieces for our vertical wallets. The way that I use a bell skiver for my wallets is that I always skive down the bottom section of this pocket piece. I do that to get rid of as much bulk as possible. Okay, I gotta give you an example. Don't mind the patina on this one. It had been sitting in the shelf and got a little bit sun-baked from here up. So I might have to sell some of these at a second sale. On this wallet style specifically, as you're running down this bottom stitch with the sewing machine, the presser foot puts a lot of pressure right there. And you can see that even this wallet got a little bit of track marks there from the machine. But that right there would have been a whole lot worse if I hadn't skived the inside of the pocket. Ideally, I would split the entire piece and not just the bottom section, because everywhere that there's bulk, you're still gonna have those track mark issues. So for instance, one place you tend to get it a lot is right here. It's not a huge deal, it doesn't cause any major issues, but Waterbury, our manufacturing partner, does have a splitter. So anytime they make wallets for us, they always split the interior pieces down. And maybe this is a good time to answer another question I get so much, which is what weight of leather do we use for our wallets? I typically just use 3 to 4 ounce for the whole thing. But like I was saying, if I had a splitter, I think ideally I would use something like 4 to 5 ounces for the main body panel. And then I would split everything on the interior down to like 2 ounces. And that way you're getting rid of lots of bulk, but keeping a lot of the structure of the wallet. So a splitter's definitely on my shopping list. But during the times when I'm making lots of bags, this machine is incredibly helpful. Again, I have to narrow it down to those two things. If you're making a lot of bags, I would probably recommend getting a bell skiver. If you're making a lot of wallets, maybe go for a splitter. That's my 2 cents. This is a Conso DCS S4. I just got it off eBay, so I'm probably not gonna link it down below. And by the way, I'm not doing a tutorial on how to maintain it or anything, sharpen it. I'll do that for another video, but I just wanted to talk about it because I get a lot of questions. So that's that. I'm gonna get back to work. I've got a lot more gluing and stitching to do, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it tonight. It's 6:30 and Indy's at a cheer camp. She's been doing some cheerleading stuff up at my old high school. And tomorrow she's actually cheering at a high school football game during halftime. So that's gonna be really fun to watch, but I wanna go watch her practice a little bit and probably help with Wesley, because I'm sure he's driving her nuts right now. All right, let's get out of here.